Hi, friends. Welcome to day 4, 7 days of self-acceptance. So thank you for joining me. And thank you if you've watched the previous 3 days. I hope that it's serving. I hope that something's come out of it for you. And today in day 4, we're halfway through and we're going to shift the vibe a little bit. So we've created a bit of awareness around what happens and how we reject ourselves, the kind of inner conversation and the energies around that. And today I'm gonna give you another practice. And so I invite you to bring what we've done in the last 3 days. So, that inner voice, so day 1, we did the inner voice. Day 2, we were looking at sort of the projection and how we take that on and we hold ourselves back and limit ourselves. Day 3, yesterday, we did the shoulds. I shouldn't, I should be more, I should be less. And so those 3 days, they kind of working well together. And today I'm going to share with you a practice, or invite you into a practice to create. We're going to start looking at the nervous system side of things. And so creating a sense of safety around that, because it's one thing to have this big list of ways that you speak to yourself, but it's quite another to feel safe to let go of these limiting beliefs or these limiting patterns. So today's practice might be a little bit confronting if it's something you haven't done before. But I wonder, who here has heard of the concept of eye gaze? It's a practice of eye gazing where, and sometimes they'll do it in workshops, people are paired up and they'll sit there and gaze into each other's eyes for a period. And, it's not staring. It's not like holding this kind of aggressive stare. It's about being relaxed and allowing yourself to see the other person. And it's a really beautiful process. And, if you can stay with it a little while, and it will move you through different phases of uncomfortability. Sometimes because when you're present with another person, you feel seen, and often feeling seen is very confronting for us. There's nothing, the eyes are the window to the soul, so there's nothing to really hide behind. But it's also and so that can bring up a lot of emotion, to feel truly seen by another person, but also in truly seeing another person. One of the great, and I still remember it was from a few years ago. I did this practice with somebody, and throughout the process, she transformed, not necessarily physically, but my experience of her transformed into my experience of myself, if that makes sense. It might sound a bit wacky to some of you, but I could truly see myself in her. And this is a little bit off topic, actually, because I'm not going to get you to do this with somebody else, but it's nice to kind of understand the depth that the practice of gazing into somebody else's eyes can bring. So once again, in the context of what we've done over the last 3 days, I invite you to do this practice standing in front of a mirror. And in the context of, how we have been critical of ourselves, the inner voices, the self-talk, today's theme is that you're doing your best. I'm doing my best, and my best is good enough. I am enough. And so you might want to have those affirmations to speak. And so we're going to be kind of pendulating our experience. We're going to bring into this process the awareness of how we criticize ourselves and how we put ourselves down. And we're also going to bring into this experience that sense of self-love, that sense of self-acceptance, because if you have a child, and that child is trying and trying and trying to learn a new skill, you don't become cruel and unkind to it as we often become to ourselves. You instead nurture that child. You acknowledge that it's doing the best it can. And with that support and that nurturing, the child will eventually grow into mastering the skill that they're working towards. So in this process, position yourself somewhere that you can be comfortable. You don't need to be necessarily sitting down, but somewhere that you can stand comfortably, making eye contact with yourself in the mirror, not looking at, oh, my hair's not great today, or I shouldn't have eaten that pasta for lunch or whatever. Not looking and judging our physical appearance, but looking into the depth of the eyes, looking into the depth of what lies within. How does that make you feel? Maybe there are even new stories that come up. Maybe there is a new layer that you discover about yourself of vulnerability, because self-acceptance can also come only when we're willing to be vulnerable enough to see the parts of ourselves that we reject and we deny. So let yourself be in the presence of yourself and let yourself see more deeply into yourself. You're doing your best, and your best is enough. You are enough. Or say to yourself, I'm doing my best, and my best is enough because I am enough. And in this process, while you're staying present to that connection with your eyes, with yourself, notice if there's any experiences in the body. You might notice tension, you might notice a discomfort, you might notice ease, you might notice that as you stay with the process, perhaps your shoulders release, perhaps your back, your spine kind of finds a new balance. It's interesting just to have an awareness of how this work can interplay into your lived experience. So that's all I've got for you for day 4. Be gentle with yourself. I hope you're enjoying it. I'd love to hear from you. And please join me again tomorrow for day 5, 7 days of self-acceptance. Much love.